Okay students, in this class I am going to teach you the characteristics of secondary group elements related compounds of the compounds of alkaline earth metals. So right guys, alkaline earth metals they forms bivalent cations. They forms bivalent cations. So you know bivalent cations means it carries 2 units of the positive charge. So due to the formation of the bivalent cation, most of these compounds are ionic in nature. The compounds which are formed by the alkaline earth metals are ionic in nature due to the bivalent charge. However, here the compounds related to beryllium and next one magnesium. So these are covalent in nature. Due to the small size, here, so the compounds related to beryllium and magnesium covalent in nature, and the ionization energy also little bit high for these two elements. Due to these two reasons, the compounds formed by the beryllium and magnesium, so they are covalent in nature. So right guys, so now when you compare the ionic character of these groups, the ionic character of the compounds of the secondary group with the first A group, they are less ionic. The secondary group compounds less ionic than first A group compounds. For example, I will give you MgCl2, which is a ionic compound of the second group, and if you take the NaCl, this is the ionic compound of the first A group. Between these two, NaCl is more ionic than MgCl2. So now why the compounds related to the secondary group elements are less ionic? So here same this reason only. These are small in size and they contain high nuclear charge. So right. So the next in this case, first A group elements are larger in size, and next one the nuclear charge also less. Here they can form plus 2 cations. Here these can form plus 1 cation. When negative charge decreases on the cation, then it means the ionic nature increases. If positive charge increases, ionic nature decreases. So however here the compounds related to the first A group more covalent than the compounds related to the second A group elements. So now let me start with the compounds oxides of the second A group elements. Oxides of the second A group elements. So right guys, oxides of the alkaline earth metals you can obtain in various ways. So let us see some of the ways how to obtain them. So first one, upon burning in the presence of dioxygen, that is O2. So when you burn the alkaline earth metal in the presence of dioxygen, you can get a metal oxide. 2 moles of the metal oxide we can get here. So here M means what? Where M means second A group elements. It means beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium. So we can take metals of the second A group. M means. And second one guys. So by the decomposition of metal carbonates related to the second A group, mainly calcium carbonate, strontium carbonate, barium carbonate. So upon thermal decomposition, they can give metal oxide and carbon dioxide gas. So now you take this MCO3. M means a second A group metal. This one upon thermal heating, and this one decomposes to give metal oxide, and next one carbon dioxide gas, which is a solid here. So these are the two ways to prepare the oxides of the alkaline earth metals. So now next let us see the properties of these compounds. So right guys, here So DeO and MgO, CaO and right, SrO and BaO. So these are the oxides of the second A group elements. So right guys, except this BeO, remaining all are ionic in nature. Remaining all are ionic in nature, but this BeO is covalent in nature. Covalent in nature. So now due to the ionic character, these are basic in nature. So now in this case, this is amphoteric in nature. Amphoteric in nature. Amphoteric means it contains acidic nature and basic nature both. So here these are ionic in nature. And the next one guys, here these all compounds contains rock salt structure. So these all except this BeO which is covalent in nature. So except this one, remaining all these are ionic in nature. So these all contains rock salt structure. So rock salt structure means the structure of NaCl. NaCl is known as rock salt. And next this one contains FCC models, phase cubic centered unit cell. So these all compounds contains FCC structure. So right, next one, due to the so let me write a point like this guys. Due to the high enthalpy formation, formations, these are highly stable. So enthalpy formations means during the formation of this compound, so lot of heat energy is released. So that's why the formation enthalpies of these compounds are very high. The compound which contains more enthalpy formation, so you can say that is highly stable. And these compounds are thermally highly stable. And next, let me write the point. So the properties of these all compounds, BeO also, BeO, MgO, CaO, SrO, BaO. So these are all thermally stable. And next one, they contains high melting and boiling point. They contains high melting point, and these are inert or these are least reactive. So due to this reason, these are used due to these properties. So here these oxides are used to make the walls of the furnace. So right, furnace is used in the extraction of the metals to heat the different types of the ores. So the walls of the furnace are made up of the oxides of the secondary group elements because these are chemically inert and next thermally stable. They contain high melting points. So due to these reasons, these are used to make the furnaces, walls of the furnace. So right students, next one, hydroxides of the alkaline earth metals. So here the hydroxides of the alkaline earth metals are obtained by treating the metals with water. Then you can get here metal hydroxides plus hydrogen gas is liberated. So to balance the equation, multiply with 2 here. So where M is alkaline earth metal, that is calcium, strontium, barium. So let me write here. So here metal means calcium, strontium and barium. So here beryllium and magnesium, so they won't react with water directly. So we can prepare them, the hydroxides of the beryllium and magnesium we can prepare from the salts by treating with sodium hydroxides. But remaining metals, calcium, strontium, barium, when they are treated with water and they vigorously react with water and gives metal hydroxide, and next one hydrogen gas. And next we can prepare we can prepare them by treating the metal oxide with water. So here, when metal oxides of calcium, strontium, barium, when they are treated with water, you can get here metal hydroxide. So these are the two ways of the preparation. So now what about the hydroxides of the beryllium and magnesium? So these are obtained by treating these salts with the bases like sodium hydroxide like that. So now first let us see this one. So this one, the salt of the barium, the salt of beryllium, example BeCl2, when it is treated with sodium hydroxide. So now from this we can get BeOH taken twice. So which is insoluble in water, which is precipitated. So you need to take 2 moles here. So next you can get here 2 moles of the NaCl. So to get the barium hydroxide, we need to treat the salt of the beryllium with the sodium hydroxide. Then we will get the precipitate of the barium hydroxide. And the next one, this one also. So the sulfate of magnesium, magnesium sulfate, when it is treated with 2 moles of the NaOH, so we can get here MgOH taken twice. MgOH taken twice, which is also insoluble, formed as a precipitate. And next we can get here Na2SO4. Na2SO4. So these are the preparation of the various hydroxides of the secondary group elements. So now when you compare the basic strength of these hydroxides, so we can get like this: BeOH taken twice, which is least basic among all the hydroxides of the secondary group elements. And after this, magnesium hydroxide, and followed by calcium hydroxide and strontium hydroxide, and next one barium hydroxide. So right guys, barium hydroxide. So this is the order of basic strength of the hydroxides. So now here which is amphoteric in nature. So first of all, before that, so here the basic strength depends upon the size of the metal ion, or the bond strength between the metal and the next one O in these oxides. So the strength of the basic strength depends upon bond between the metal and the next one oxygen present in a particular metal oxide. So now as size of the metal increases, then the bond strength decreases here because bond length increases. So due to that, this one is able to release the OH minus ion. So the strength of the basic strength of a base depends upon the capacity to release the OH minus ion. If this bond is weaker, then this is able to release the OH minus ion. Example, you take CaOH taken twice, and the next one SrOH taken twice. So now between these two, so here this one has small size and this one has larger size. As a result, so the bond length is here heavier. The bond length is heavier here. So then here the removal of OH minus is very easy, but here little bit difficult here. So right, due to this reason, the strength of the basic strength is present like this. So now however here you see this beryllium hydroxide, that is amphoteric in nature, means that one can react with acids and next one bases. So this beryllium hydroxide, which is amphoteric in nature, this one can react with the acids and next one base. Let us see one example. The reaction of BeOH taken twice with acid. Let me take HCl. So then guys, here you can get BeCl2 plus 2 moles of the water. So here balance with the 2. Okay, so now here this is reacting with acid. So here this one acts as a base. And And next, this one can react with base also by acting as an acid. BeOH taken twice when it is treated with the sodium hydroxide. So we can get here Na2BeO, and we can get here water. Na2BeO we can get here when beryllium hydroxide is treated with the sodium hydroxide. So we can get here BeO. And next, this beryllium hydroxide when it is treated with the hydroxide ions, 2 moles of the OH minus ions. So here this one reacts with the hydroxides and gives BeOH taken 4 times, and here we can get charge -2, which is known as berylic ion. Berylic ion. So you see guys, here this beryllium hydroxide is reacting with the acids and bases, that's why, which is amphoteric in nature. So however, the basic strength when you compare for the hydroxides of the second A group elements and first A group elements, so the hydroxides of the first A group elements are more basic than the hydroxides of the second A group elements. Example, you can take NaOH, which is highly basic when you compare with the MgOH taken twice, because here nuclear charge is very high and small size is very small. Here charge is low and size is high. When size of matter is more, then bond length increases. If bond length increases here, the removal of OH minus will be very easy. So right guys, this is about the hydroxides of the second A group elements. So right students, the next one, halides of the second A group elements. Okay. So now, halides of the second A group elements we can prepare by treating the second A group metal with the halogens. We can get here MX2. So where M means second A group element and X means halogen. And next guys, we can get the metal halides of the second A group elements by treating the metal hydroxides of the second A group elements with the hydrogen halides or hydrohalic acids. So now from this also we can get here MX2 plus we can get here water. So to balance this, we multiply with the 2. So when the alkaline earth metals, when they are treated with the halogens, it may be chlorine gas, whatever, where X means fluorine, bromine, iodine, and the next one M means second A group metals. When they are treated with the chlorine, we can get the metal halides. And the hydroxides of the second A group elements treated with the hydrohalic acids, we can get here metal halide of the second A group element. So right guys, here except the beryllium halides, remaining all are ionic. These are covalent in nature. Because beryllium contains very small size. So due to that, the halides of the beryllium are covalent in nature. And next one, remaining all halides of second A group are ionic in nature. Because they contain larger size and they form ionic compounds. Ionic halides, they form halides. The halides are ionic in nature. So let us consider the chlorides of the second A group elements. So they are BeCl2 and next one MgCl2 and next one CaCl2 and next one SrCl2 and last one BaCl2. So now, if you consider the ionic character, so ionic character increases from beryllium chloride to barium chloride due to the increasing size of the metal ion or metal atom. So now, which is covalent in nature? Which is covalent in nature. So from beryllium chloride to barium chloride to beryllium chloride, covalent character increases. So as size of the metal ion increases, covalent character increases according to the Parson's rules. So however here next except this beryllium chloride, here they can form hydrated salts. So here this magnesium chloride forms hydrated salt MgCl2 6H2O, and calcium forms CaCl2 dot 6H2O, and next one SrCl2 forms SrCl2 dot 2H2O, and BaCl2 forms BaCl2 dot 2H2O. Right? So now beryllium chloride, which is covalent in nature, that's why this is unable to form the hydrated salt. So now here beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium and barium chlorides, they can form hydrated salts. So now here from magnesium to barium, so the strength to form the hydrated salt decreases because of decrease in the hydration energy. This one contains more hydration energy, and that's why this one can form this one can combine with 6 water molecules, and in this case this one contains a small hydration energy, so this one can combine with the less number of the water molecules. And the next one here, except this one, remaining all upon heating undergoes dehydration, and this one undergoes hydrolysis. So now among these things, let me consider the CaCl2 6H2O. Okay, so now let me go and write this one. So write as CaCl2 6H2O. This is hydrated calcium chloride. This one upon heating it gives dehydrated salt CaCl2 and 6 moles of the water. But in case of magnesium hydrated magnesium chloride, so this one undergoes hydrolysis, means that one reacts with these water molecule. MgCl2 react with the water molecule, but here dissociation takes place or dehydration takes place. Water molecules removal takes place from this one, but here hydrolysis takes place. So now it means this one reacts with the water and forms magnesium oxide plus HCl. So to balance this equation here, you multiply with 6 here, and here multiply with 6, and here you take 12. And remaining hydrated salts, this one and barium related hydrated salts also, upon heating, so they can lose the water molecules. But here this one reacts with water, undergoes hydrolysis upon heating. So right, and next one, this BeF2. So this one is covalent in nature, even though this is highly soluble in water. Generally covalent compounds won't soluble. But here this one is covalent in nature even though highly soluble, because here so the electronegativity difference between these two very high, that is 2.0. So here electronegativity difference is very high, and next one the hydration energy of the Be+2 ion also very high. So due to these two reasons, this one is highly soluble, and remaining chlorides are less soluble in water. So next let us see one of the important one, the structure of the beryllium chloride. Beryllium chloride contains two types of the structure, in solid state and next one in vapor state. In case of the solid state, beryllium chloride BeCl2 contains a polymeric structure. It is present like this: BeCl, Cl, and BeCl, Be, and next one Cl. So this is present like this. This is known as a polymeric structure. This is in solid state. In solid state, it contains a polymeric structure. In case of gaseous state or vapor state, so this one exists as a dimer through the bridge chlorine. So like this present. So here coordinate covalent bond is present like this. So now this is a dimer here, and upon heating this one upon strong heating, this one turns into a monomer, gives 2 moles of the beryllium chloride BeCl2. So here this is structure of the beryllium chloride in gaseous state or vapor state. Upon heating this dimer, it gives monomer. So this is the structure of the beryllium chloride.